Hello, everybody. I'm Riley Woodall, and welcome to the Toss-Up. We return to the pitch this week to talk all about IU women's soccer, or football, depending on where you're from. And later in the show, we have a brand new segment for you, so stick around because it's all next on the Toss-Up. Indiana women's soccer was 3-7-7 with only one win in the Big Ten and a bad case of the ties. Flash forward to the present day, and it's an entirely new team. A perfect 7-0 on the season and an electrifying win over Rutgers on Sunday, to open conference play. The Hoosiers are on fire, but what changed? And what can fans expect from this team as the heart of its conference schedule comes into full swing? We're here to break that all down for you, and as always, I'm joined by an amazing cast of characters. Our very own William Stewart, IUSTV Sports women's soccer beat reporter. Josie Broyles filling that out, the 2 spot here. And then Ryan coming down from HN country. He's reporting for women's soccer for HN. And then our own Sam Brunsman to round out the entire IUSTV Sports women's soccer beat. He's in the studio with us as well to break it all down. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Will, I'm going to go to you first. It's like night and day.
Yeah, right.
Looking at this team from last year to this year, what changed from last year to this year that is responsible for the Hoosiers' early success?
Well, the main thing Coach Van Bennekom hammered on really throughout his first few interviews of the season through those first few games was just aggression. They wanted to be aggressive. Just the team, the coaching staff, everybody wanted to be more aggressive, all the way from the back line, all the way to the attacking third. A lot more pressing has been happening, creating a lot more turnovers, a lot more transition offense for the Hoosiers. They're just sailing through balls and crosses, sending it over the midfield, over the other team's defenders, just allowing for way more chances on the attack. And not to mention, the attackers have been more aggressive themselves. They're getting more shots off just in a higher quantity. They're averaging nearly, 20 shots a game or so, which is just unheard of for this team, especially compared to last season. So it's been more aggressive. That's been their motto, more aggression as much as possible.
Yeah, I'll jump in. I think the team definitely just has been so aggressive overall. I think they're finally able to just get that ball away from their side of the field and over to the other side. You know, we've seen really great 1-2-3 plays. We've seen some great assists. We've seen Marissa Greshik. We've seen Anna Bennett. Those assists and those passes are really, I think, what I have noticed what's key. Instead of having one player just take the ball all the way down the field, they've really been cooperating and working really well together as a team. And I think that is a really big difference and what I think has made the Hoosiers victorious this season.
And I know we're about to get into the offense that was so stagnant last year, but they are just living in the attacking third of the field, and it's really great to see players like Paige Weber scoring a mass amount of goals that were not scored last year. And everyone's getting in on the party. And if it's not Paige Weber, it's Anna Bennett, or it's Lauren Costello, or it's Sydney Mazer getting her first goal of her career, actually. So it's really great to see this all come to life. And we know how hard Irwin works. We all know how the staff works. It's really great.
I think a word that comes to mind is aggression, right? And if you look at the numbers last year, only 11 goals total, 73 shots on goal. This year, through 9 games, they've doubled their goals, and on top of that, shot on goal 79 times. I mean, the numbers don't lie there. The numbers are incredible. Sam, I'm going to bring you in for this one right here. What are they doing differently to unshackle this offense that was, for lack of a better term, abysmal last year?
Yeah, when talking to Erwin Van Bennekom early in the season, he came into this season with a new plan, and that was the press on goal kicks on opposing teams. They would kick it usually short, and with that short play, they would press on lock them in on a corner, and it's been very hard for teams to build out of the back. Their midfield has been swarming in the midfield, and they try to clear the ball out, and it's led to counterattacks in the midfield, and it's led to Paige Weber scoring as many goals as she has this season so far.
Well, you transitioned perfectly into my next question, Sam. Guys, Paige Weber, I mean, watching her play is something else. And, especially this year, it's a pleasure to get to sit down and watch her play. She is shining on this Hoosier squad. Definitely the best player by far. What impresses you the most about her game?
I mean, she's Paige Weber, such a name, such a player this year. I mean, I think we've just seen her play so amazingly. She's really just been able to take shots on goal, which we did not see much of last year. You know, we saw a lot of ties, a lot of losses, but I think she's kind of the reason why we've been pulling out so many wins, so many shots on goal. I've actually really been impressed by her just ability to work as a team. She's had some really great passes. We saw her take a shot all the way from Jamie Gerstenberg when she punted it all the way at the end in the Rutgers game last Sunday. That was crazy. I feel like she's just always in the right place at the right time, and that is what really makes her an asset to the team, when she can read the game really well and she knows where to be, she knows what to do. And
not only is Paige she's very coherent and just knows where to be at the right time. And it's always, there's going to be a set piece from Anna Bennett. Oh, there's a set piece from Piper Cofield that we've seen in a bunch of other games or games that we've already seen this year. And she's just always in the right place, whether it's, on headers or free kicks. So it's really good. And we talked with Tim Verskoren, the assistant coach, as well as Erwin, saying about they've spent all this time in training being in front of goal and not just, doing just like set piece training, and they have a really good goalkeeper to train them with, and that's Jamie Gerstenberg, who just eclipsed her 100th save. So congrats to Jamie. But yeah, Paige Weber has just been a lifeline that this team so desperately needed, just for hope for this team, and she's been amazing. She just won Offensive Player of the Week for the Big Ten. Is that correct? Right?
Yep.
Really good job for her.
Will, anything to add?
I mean,
they play like win all across.
They really did get it. Yeah, she's an amazing player, nothing short of that. But to get down to a specific part of her game, what I really feel is her best part is just her fundamentals and her mechanics with the ball at her feet. Her skill is unparalleled with really any other striker that we've seen in the Big Ten. She's able to just weave through a defense, through a back line, and gets those shots up that you were talking about, Josie. She's just been amazing with the ball at her feet. She's made plays by herself. She's got a handful of her own goals unassisted. She'll just take the ball through the defense, kind of like a Messi run, and it's almost unparalleled too. And she's just been amazing with the ball at her feet. Her mechanics are just, second to none.
A truly special player indeed. And when you hear Indiana women's soccer, you think Paige Weber, Paige Weber, Paige Weber. Sam, I'm bringing you back in on this because, there isn't just one player on a team. It's a collective group of individuals. So my question to you is, who's a supporting cast player that's really helped out that you think's flown under the radar and deserves more credit?
Yeah, someone who stood out to me this season so far has been Elle Britt, the freshman. She's been really fun to watch on the field, in the midfield. She's been really supportive, filling in on those spots. I think she's had a shot in almost every single game this year so far. She has a goal and an assist, and she's been a really big factor filling in for players like Sydney Mazer, Hope Paredes in the midfield when they're tired. She can give that second boost, that second layer of energy for this Indiana team, and she plays a really big role.
Well, the Hoosiers have 9 more regular season games, all of them in conference, in the Big Ten Conference. 3 of those games, those teams are in the top 20. Penn State obviously ranking in at 6. Josie, I'm going to go to you first here. How do you see this rejuvenated Hoosier squad faring in the rest of their Big Ten schedule, which can be pretty tough?
I think they've gained a lot of confidence from all these wins that they've had so far this season. You've talked about Penn State. We tied 0-0 draw with Penn State last year. And I think obviously they do have a better record this year, but I think going in with their better record, their better defense, their better offense, I think they could really take those teams far and they can really come out with a couple victories. We've had some out-of-conference games. We've seen them do well with the Tennessee Volunteers. I think it'll be good. I think we'll see them do really well.
And I'll say this, I think that if Indiana plays any Big Ten opponent at home, they will win. You saw with Rutgers. I said it. I mean,
I'll take.
Maybe I'm wrong. They get Penn State on the road. They just played Rutgers. They go to Illinois tomorrow. So, I mean, I have confidence in this team. We saw their ability to score goals and come back from goals, or come back from ties and stuff like that. And it's just the tempo and the momentum that this team is bringing is just unparalleled to anything we've ever seen. And I just feel like the Big Ten is just not ready for this team. And if they're going to come to Bloomington, you're going to have to face this team with a lot of aggression and know what you're going to get.
Will, do you agree?
I mean, do I have to add anything? You guys just cover everything. I just need to sit here and look at the camera and say hi. But yeah, I mean, Indiana's come out of the gates and they're swinging, right? They're aggressive. We've covered that, and I have confidence in them, just like these two do, and just like Sam does. This team looks great. They come out, obviously they're undefeated. They have the couple of draws, but it's with the top 25 team. And it was at Tennessee, so it's not an easy matchup that they've had. I'm not going to say they're going to go undefeated like Ryan over there just
I said undefeated at home. I meant undefeated at home.
Undefeated at home.
Well,
okay. Still, yes.
They're going to have tough matchups all season.
Yes.
The Big Ten's not a pushover division. We all know that. The conference is great. But I still think this Indiana team is going to hold their own. I think that they could end up in the Big Ten conference play for sure. Conference tournament, excuse me.
So, okay, well, you're going into my next question. I'm going to sling it right back to you. Do you think the Hoosiers can make the Big Ten tournament for the first time since 2019?
Well, I just said my opinion, right? I
Yes,
think they're
but
going to
why?
make it.
Why do you think so?
Well, like we just really said, they look so good coming out of the gate. They look great in their first conference game against Rutgers, which is a perennial powerhouse, a team that's looked great for years on end, and they beat them 3-2 right here in Bloomington at Bill Armstrong Stadium. And Ryan's got enough confidence to say they're going to be undefeated at home. So they're a great team at home. They've been good on the road this year. I think they have the ability to beat teams, have a couple upsets against those top 25 matchups, but they'll also beat those teams that just can't match their skill level. They don't play down to opponents. They play at their skill level, which is above most teams in the Division I.
So we got 1-4 making the tournament. Josie.
I'm going to say I think they're going to make it. I think this team has come out better than we've seen them in a really long time. I think we've talked about their confidence. They're going to go in with their new skills. I just think their team works so well together. You know, we've talked about the assists, we've talked about Paige Weber, we've talked about all these great standout players. We have transfers like Lauren Costello, who's been great on defense, great with helping out Jamie. So I think all of those key factors, I think they'll make it.
2-4. Ryan.
Yes. You think I'm just going to sit here on
3 for 3.
You think I'm just going to sit here on the toss and go, no, they're not going to make it. Of course they are. You go out and get that kind of win against Rutgers. I mean, this team, they deserve the right to be in the Big Ten tournament. And we've talked to Coach after the Hanover game. We said, well, what is the pros and cons of playing against these teams like Virginia Tech and Louisville and Virginia Tech, Louisville, Tennessee is what I was thinking of. Granted, they tied a couple of those games, but it's just all going to come together, and it came together against Rutgers. So, I mean, I have the confidence in this team. Coach has been really good. He knows what he can work on, and he knows that he took all the criticism from last year, and I think he's added all of that and accrued it into a successful season that we've seen so far, and they got 7 wins to show for it.
Sam, take us home. Will the Hoosiers make it, and why?
4 for 4, yes, they will make the conference tournament. They've been such a powerhouse this year so far, 7-0-2. They have the pieces that they were missing last year. Lauren Costello filling in on that defense. Zoe Tiger on that back line, same with Piper Cofield. They have the pieces to do it, and I think they will. Paige Weber, Anna Bennett on the wing, Kennedy Neighbors as well on the opposite wing. They have the pieces to do it, and they will make it.
Only time will tell. Coming after the break, we have a new segment on the show, and I'll give you one hint as to what it is. So you're telling me there's a chance. Guess away and find out when we come back. Welcome back. It's time for Over or Under. I've got 8 questions lined up, 2 for each of the panelists, and they have 30 seconds or so to pick over or under the number I give them for each question and explain why. Will, you are first. Indiana, over or under 4 Big Ten wins this season?
I'm going to go under. I'm going to go over, excuse me. All 4 of us just said they're going to make the conference tournament. They're going to have to win more than 4 games to make that tournament, and they definitely have the schedule to be able to do it. They have those 3 top 25 opponents, but otherwise it's sort of the bottom of the Big Ten in the conference standings last season that they have to face off, and I think they can definitely get more than 4.
Josie, Paige Weber, over or under 20 goals this season?
I'm going to say over. I see no way why she wouldn't be able to do it. You know, we're halfway through the season. She scored 11 already. I don't see why she couldn't score 11 more.
Ryan, IU has not beaten Purdue since 2014. What are the chances the Hoosiers get it done? Over or under? We'll say 50%.
I think this team will. This game is in West Lafayette. I will say that. I mean, it's a fact. But I will say this. I think that they can go into West Lafayette and win because this Purdue team, I checked their roster, their schedule, all that stuff, their stats, they're not that good. So I think that this will be a good challenge, a good road test to prepare them for Penn State. But I do think they will win against Purdue.
Sam, Jamie Gerstenberg, 52 saves last year, over 100 in her career, 18 so far this season. Is she going over or under 50 saves this year?
Yeah, so this is an interesting one. So she, as you said, she has 18 this year, and through 9 games last year, she had 34. So I'm going to go over just because of the fact the Big Ten's a tough conference to play in, And with that being said, there's going to be more shots on goal, and I think she'll make some big-time saves.
Sam, I'm coming back to you on this one. We're going to look more big picture here. Chances Penn State wins the Big Ten tournament again this year. Over or under, we'll say 70%.
100% over on this one. Penn State, they have the pieces. They're returning so many big key players on their team. I mean, if you look at their roster, it's senior, graduate student. They have the pieces that they need to make a far run, not just in the Big Ten tournament, but also in the NCAA tournament.
Ryan, we're going post-season. UCLA chances to win the College Cup, over or under 30%.
UCLA is very good. I did some research on them. They score a lot of goals, got a lot of players, a lot of good players. They got a lot of resources to stay at the top of women's soccer. 30%, that's too high. I'll take the under. I'll say around 15, 20%, but watch out for UCLA this year.
Josie, oh so close. UNC last year, runner-ups. Chances to win the College Cup for the Tar Heels, over under 30%.
Well, UNC this year, they're doing really well. They're undefeated. They're ranked #1 right now. So I'm going to say over. I'm going to give them a good 40%. You know, you're not sure, but I think 40%. You know, someone could come back.
And Will, to close us out, the team that was ranked #1, they got knocked down a few after they lost that game. And Josie mentioned UNC #1 right now. BYU, what are their chances to win the College Cup? Over or under 30%?
I'm going to go under. I don't think personally that any team has greater than really a 20% chance to win the College Cup, especially at this point in the season. It's still wide open, right? Conference play is just beginning for everybody. So I'm just going to go under. I don't think anyone has an over 30% chance, really over even a 20.
And a team that we've talked about a lot, it's by pick. I got Penn State chances to win the College Cup, over under 30%. I'll give the Nittany Lions a 15.6% chance. Hey, you don't like that? You don't like that prediction? Hey, Han Solo's your best friend here. He says never tell me the odds. But anyway, that's going to do it for us this week. Be sure to continue the discussion and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at IUSTV Sports. And be sure to follow our brand new Toss-Up Instagram and Twitter at the Toss-Up23 and at the Toss-Up IU, respectively. JC will be back in the studio next week to talk everything NFL. As always, there's one thing left to do, so toss it up. Find out if we'll catch it, and we'll see you next time.